I would like to welcome everybody to the debut episode of Tim's Take, the show where I don't know what it's going to be about. It's just my take on everything, things in the OMFL, things on my Lions, real life takes. Who knows where we're going to go? Before I go any further, yes, this is the infamous hat that was seen falling off my head in a coach interview several years ago. So it fits. It's not going anywhere. It's not coming off this time. I'm hoping I can do this show weekly, but we'll see how it goes. When you have 5 kids in the same house, you don't get much time to yourself. You juggle everything around, and anybody who's a parent knows, your time is almost last. It's not saying it's fair. It's just adulting sucks. It's overrated. So whether I'm in the living room right now wearing my Memorial Cup shirt, or if I'm in a car, or if I'm in a bunker, who knows? I will try to provide an episode and give you my take. We're going to start with my OMFL Lions. We are currently 1-2 with wins over the Bears and losses over the 49ers and the Ravens. We're going to start with week 1 against the 49ers. I knew right off the bat that the 49ers guy was going to be proven that everything last year was a fluke. He was going to come out guns a-blazing, and he was. Totally different than the game I played him last year, which I happened to win. The one thing I will say that I was impressed with is I was able to outgain him and kept it within a fighting chance most of the game. Things I wanted to work on in that game were simple. I turned over the ball way too many times. My rookie quarterback threw 5 interceptions, and whenever you play against somebody like D-Money, that is unacceptable. I was able to find, let me see if I can bring it up here. 303 yards of offense compared to 271. 66 rushing yards compared to his 101. I would like to run the ball a little bit more, but pass sent him for 237 to 170. First down 17 to 19. So the first down was pretty close. The passing, I had the advantage, but you definitely want to get those rushing yards back up. But like I said earlier, the story of the day was 5 turnovers compared to his 2. So feeling the teams out, trying to figure out. We're both started rookie quarterbacks, trying to figure out how the quarterback works and flows, and what works and what doesn't work. It's a lot of people have tried to throw rookie quarterbacks. Few have succeeded their first year, and there's a reason why, because you're learning with that quarterback. They're not established yet, and it takes time. So I took it as a learning experience. I looked at the tape. I tried to figure out what mistakes I made, especially on the picks. Was it my fault? Yeah, a lot of them were my fault. Was it a simple talent mismatch? Yep, sure. So I went there, took positive out of that, and went to the next game, divisional game against the Bears. Now, I have been very vocal that the NFC North is my division. I'm the Kings of the North. Now, wait a minute. Colin and his Bears won the North last year. Yeah, he did. Technically, he did. But Colin doesn't scare me. Priest and the Packers don't scare me. And Randy and the Vikings don't scare me. The toughest opponent to me is myself. I started off the gate last year really difficult. I was learning the new game, trying to force a lot of things that weren't there. I think the lowest middle of the season was I got blown out by Priest. I got blown out by Roger and the Texans. I got blown out by Flurry and the Jaguars. Um, you reach a point, and I definitely Nate would understand this, where it's like, what the heck am I doing? I lost 40-3 to Roger. I lost 30-6 to Priest, and you're just scratching your head, going, I'm better than this. Is this how I want to spend my time? And you start self-examining and start thinking about, well, where do I go next? And I simplified it. Whenever I've had problems and lows in this league, I simplified it. So I tried to make improvements focused on individual matchups, focusing on the it sounds so simple but so complex. Limit the turnovers. Don't put the ball in harm's way. Try to just run the ball. If you run the ball and be successful, you're not throwing interceptions. So I finished the season strong. I think I won 6 games in a row. I actually hurt my draft pick way more than I wanted to, and probably was a foolish move on my part. But I got all the confidence in the world that I was on the right path. And in week 2, it showed up against the Bears. 35-21, final score against the Bears. 383 yards of offense to 312. 170 rushing yards for the Lions to 100 for the Bears. 207 to 212 passing yards, so definitely even. 22 first downs to 19. Two important stats that I love that I did. 1, turnovers. He coughed up the ball twice. 0 for your Detroit Lions. 0. And if you don't throw the ball, don't fumble it, don't throw interceptions, I think you're going to win most of your games. It's as simple as that. And I won the time of possession, 21 minutes to 14 minutes. So, division game, right off the bat, against the division opponent, statement game. And I feel that I showed that this division is definitely in the running for me to win. Much needed game. I then played the Ravens, and I just played them today. This was an intriguing game to me. From you don't know what nipples you're going to see. You have the games where he is engaged and he plays like somebody that you expect in the OMFO Bowl every year, or you get somebody who is off daydreaming and thinking about the next sex cruise. That's just what you're going to get. And I can tell he was engaged. His defense is one of the most intimidating. When I was looking at the stats, his defense was the most intimidating. So it forced me to change a little bit of my gameplay. He's got 2 defensive backs, CBs. One is a world beater, 99 speed, and the other guy's 96. So where am I going to exploit a mismatch with a 98 speed JMO if I'm surrounded by those two stud athletes? I'm not. So I focused on running the ball, and I'm focused on getting separation and mismatches and trying to take advantage of him out of position or him covering my star athlete with a weaker player. And it's easier said than done. Sometimes you got to think small and expose it. Sometimes you look at the first 10 yards in front of you and figure how am I going to move around that. And anything 10 yards and above, you forget about. Had a lot of good positives in that game. Skip force. Spoiler alert: he won 20-19. But the game was an instant classic, and it can go down. It could have gone either way. He outgained me 278 to 258. Ran me 85-63. But I outpassed him 195 to 193. I had 14 first downs. He had 10. I coughed off the ball two times. He coughed it up once. Time of possession was 20 minutes, 35 seconds on my favorite. It was 15-25. So a couple of patterns I've been seeing is that if you're grinding out the game and moving out, obviously you're going to control the type of possession more, and that makes every drive you have important to score and finish the job. This game could have gone either way. The frustrating part of this game is I would have a nice 5-minute drive with 12 to 16 plays led to a grind out touchdown, and then he turned around and scored within 3 plays in a minute. And it's like all the momentum's out of your sail, and what do you do? And he went up for a go-ahead score and left me about 5 minutes left to go to try to come back down 7. I grinded out, got the ball in the end zone with 5 seconds left to go. But unfortunately, let me backtrack. I was never going to go for 1 point to tie the game and force it in overtime, despite the fact that I was moving down the field with him. You're that close. You got 5 seconds left to go. You got a chance to tie the game or 2 points with a win. I am taking the 2 points every day of the week and twice on Sunday. You go for the win. You put your guys at your strength and go for it. I tried to get him on a stick halfback angle route. It was open for a second, and then Gibbs dropped the ball. So that's the way that goes. Sometimes you're on the side of the coin where you get that game go-ahead touchdown. Sometimes you just don't. It's just the way it happens. So that leads us to 1-2 in the division. And if we look at the division now, I got it on the screen, so you're not looking at it. That leaves us in a tie with the Vikings, both 1-2. The Packers have yet to play, but they're 1-1. And the Bears are dead last at 0-3. It's too early to figure out which teams are engaged, which teams are doing well, which teams are in trouble. But obviously, if you look at the NFC North, an 0-3 Bears is sort of not what we expected this early in the season. We expected a lot more from them. They did lose to me, Dean Wayne and the Cowboys, and Randy and the Vikings. But when he's given up 47 in his first game, and when you're giving up 35 in the second, that's a little alarming. Especially, you got to be able to shut some people down in order to win games, especially if you're going to compete for the division. So the Bears are definitely a team I would raise eyebrows and say, what are you doing over there? Are you are you going to compete in this division this year? Because next few games for the Bears definitely are going to tell you everything you need to know. He's got road games at Green Bay, road game at Baltimore, and then home against the Broncos. Those are 3 games he can more than capable of winning, but there's 3 games that if he drops, he's 0-6, and then what do? You pack it up for the year? Maybe he does. Maybe that's his plan. I don't know. For the Vikings in the division, I caught a little bit of the game against the Bears. Very nice win. He made some changes to his team to improve, and it seemed like it paid off. So we'll see this next game where he plays me and the Lions, and see if those changes pay out. He's got a brutal, the schedule didn't do any justice because he's got a road game at Detroit. He's got home game against Dwayne and the Cowboys, and then he's got to play me again at home. So we'll see the next few weeks if he's a contender or a pretender. As far as the Packers go, it's an interesting few games he's got coming up next. He's got the Bears, and then he's got Denver and the Bengals. The thing with Priest, and he's a little bit similar to me in a way, we can be our biggest opponent. We can want to gunsling and throw that rock all over the field, and if we create a bunch of turnovers, then we're just digging our own grave. We're fine. We gotta be conscientious and try to not put the ball in harm's way, and try to grind out a win. So, Lions made a big trade this week. We acquired Derrick Henry, and a lot of people are scratching your head going, now wait a minute. Why did you feel the need to get Derrick Henry? He's an older running back. Don't you have Montgomery and Gibbs, and you were doing well with Sonic and Knuckles? What's going on? I don't understand. Derrick Henry was acquired for third-round pick that belonged to the Vikings, to me. I acquired the third-round pick for the Vikings in another trade, so that's why I had 2 third-round picks, but I traded my third-round pick for Derrick Henry. He's on the last year of his deal, and so is David Montgomery. The thought process behind that move is Derrick Henry's 31, Montgomery's 28. There's a little bit difference in the age. Both of the running backs, I wouldn't expect to be the main running back. Only the spell running back behind Gibbs. Montgomery, especially last year and a little bit this year, I'm trying to get him going, but it just wasn't working out the way I'd like it to. I'm probably going to let Montgomery walk in the offseason, because I definitely can't afford to re-up him on the contract. Give you an idea of what he's asking for, because I was looking at that earlier today. He is asking for 8.5. He's asking for 16.7 total over 3 years. And if we look at what Derrick Henry's asking, he's asking for 10.5 over 2 years. So a little bit similar in the money. But definitely something that I can debate about whether I want Montgomery or Henry on my team going forward. It's no secret Derrick Henry is one of my favorite players I've ever had, non-Lion, and I'd love to have him on my team going forward. And if I can make it work with him and Gibbs, Henry is a better fit for what I'd like to run compared to Montgomery. And if it doesn't work out in this season, it was only a third-round pick, and then I can go to plan B from there. The biggest problem I'm going to have in the next upcoming seasons is affording all these players. I have a lot of players that that I want to keep, and they're going to want more money. So I made no secret, Jared Goff is on the last year of his deal because he's only cost me $20 million this year and cost me $74 million the very next year. So I'm using my platinum incentive, and I'm cutting him at the end of the season and going with the newer quarterback. The new quarterback is working wonderful on this team. I'm able to do a lot more than I'm anticipated at this time, and he will be a front runner for the Rookie of the Year for this year. I really don't have anything more else than that. Who knows what happens the next upcoming week? We'll find out. The season just started. So hopefully we have a lot of fun. I'm welcome to hear any positive or negative feedback, whatever you want to put on this right here. Just let me know. Thanksgiving coming up this week for American friends. Just take care of yourself, be good, and I'm thankful for you being a part of the community and the friendship that we have together. Later.